Let's go back to John Roberts on the north lawn of the White House. John, it's important to point out also that there are two stories here you heard Adam Schiff talking about. One is this breaking story of the New York Times. The other one is the story about what the president said to the Russian foreign minister and Russian ambassador to the U.S. during that Oval Office meeting that has obviously enveloped Washington over the past 24 hours.
It really seems, Brett, at least in recent days, that it just doesn't stop here at the White House. It's one day after another, there is another striking revelation. At the moment, though, with the FBI director's memo, we appear to have just a he said type of issue going on here. We do not know what the president actually said to Jim Comey from the White House's perspective, because nobody has told us that, only to say that he did not say what the White House, or at least what the New York Times has reported he said. And in terms of these tapes, we thought that at the beginning that those were related to the conversations that the president had with former FBI Director Comey about him being a target of the investigation. There was a dinner conversation, then there were two phone calls, but maybe, Brett, these tapes were sort of a warning shot about conversations that they had had previously, including this one in the Oval Office. But all of this happens at the same time that the White House communications shop and much of the White House is still reeling, trying to come out with its side of the story on what the president spoke with the Russian foreign minister about a week ago.
In the Roosevelt Room with Turkey's President Erdogan, President Trump paused before leaving, clearly eager to give his side of the story in what he told Russia's foreign minister.
Well, we had a very, very successful meeting with the foreign minister of Russia. Our fight is against ISIS. As General McMaster said, I thought he said, and I know he feels, that we had actually a great meeting with the foreign minister. So we're going to have a lot of great success over the next coming years, and we want to get as many to help fight terrorism as possible.
The White House is pushing back hard against claims that the president jeopardized national security by sharing information about threats to airlines with Sergei Lavrov. Threat sources say go well beyond the current ban on laptop computers.
The president was emphasizing, hey, we have some common interests here. We have to work together in some critical areas. ISIS in particular, an organization that had already taken down a Russian airliner and murdered over 200 people in October of 2015. It was wholly appropriate to share what the threat was as a basis for common action and coordination.
The reporter who broke the story says the president and his team are merely laying down smoke in an attempt to wriggle out of the controversy.
That's right, and I think the White House has sought to create this sort of confusion about this in an effort to deflect or blunt the impact of the story here.
The explanations from the White House fell on deaf ears on Capitol Hill. Senator Bob Corker, a big supporter of President Trump, told reporters, quote, "The White House has got to do something soon to bring itself under control and in order. Obviously, they're in a downward spiral right now, and they've got to figure out a way to come to grips with all that's happening." Other Republicans want a full readout of the president's meeting with Lavrov. Among them, Virginia Congresswoman Barbara Comstock, who said, quote, "Once again, we are faced with inexplicable stories coming from the White House that are highly troubling. We need to have immediate classified briefings on what occurred at this meeting so that Congress can at least know as much as Russian leaders." Sources tell Fox News the threats the president described were developed in part by Israel. Critics screamed that divulging such information could damage intelligence sharing partnerships. But Israel didn't seem to mind. In a statement to Fox News, Ambassador Ron Dermer saying, quote, "Israel has full confidence in our intelligence sharing relationship with the United States and looks forward to deepening that relationship in the years ahead under President Trump." The White House is attempting to turn the focus from the intelligence to the fact that it leaked.
I think national security is put at risk by this leak and by leaks like this.
The president has been plagued by leaks White House staffers insist are designed to hurt him. But conservative radio host Eric Erickson says this one was also designed to send the president a wake-up call. Erickson claims to know one of the leakers, a Trump supporter, who is frustrated that the president isn't listening to internal criticism or advice.
This is a strong Trump supporter who really wants the president to succeed, and at this point is, among other people in the White House, driven to desperation to try to get the president's attention.
If the president's supporters have now joined the legions of people who are leaking, this adds a whole other level of headache to what the White House is experiencing. Brett?
John Roberts live on the North Lawn. John, thank you.